basics of credit. Okay, so what's credit? Credit is offered obviously by a lender or creditor to a borrower, to a person who seeks credit. Creditworthiness is the degree of financial trustworthiness demonstrated by a borrower based on how well they have managed their financial obligations. And then the other thing is credit report, which is basically a sign of your creditworthiness. It's a snapshot of borrower's creditworthiness and helps the lenders calculate the amount of risk they will assume when providing a borrower credit. So basically, credit report helps the lenders to calculate the risk that they are taking by lending you the money, depending on how you managed your finances. So credit score is a statistical calculation, really, and there are so many ways of calculating your credit score. But the most known score is the FICO score, Fair Isaac Corporation, developed by Fair Isaac Corporation, and I think years ago I listened to the story of one person is basically, it's their last name, two people, one is a mathematician and the other one is a statistician, and they came up with this formula to calculate based on your spending habits how well your credit score behaves. So most commonly used is FICO. That's why you hear FICO a lot. Anything between 640 credit score and below is considered your high risk, so your borrowing may be much more expensive than a person who has good credit, which is considered at 700 score or more. So if you're curious about where you stand, you can check your credit score. I'll give you the website to be able to do that for free. But so your credit score, if it's I believe if it's at 650 or below, so you're not really doing well. Once you hit 700 to 749, which is most people are with good credit are there. Honestly, it's really tough to do 750 or more because you're valued at I believe it's between 300 and 850 your credit score. So what determines your credit score? Your credit score is based on your payment history. It's based on the amount that you owe, and it's determined based on the length of the credit history. How many years do you have that credit? And the types of credit. Do you have a mortgage, car loan, store cards? So those are different types of credit. And based on new credit, are you constantly applying for credit? So if you're constantly applying for credit, what's happening? It's actually, those inquiries are lowering your credit score because you're constantly in need of new credit. So that means you're not really managing your finances well. So the most important thing that you have to pay attention to is your payment history because that forms up 35% of how they determine your credit score. And that chart basically, this picture basically gives you what to pay attention to. So the left side is actually bad and the right side is doing the good stuff basically.